Toksvig, and this is What's the Dickens, the panel game that wanders around culture's lavish gallery, muttering things like, "Oh, a child could have painted that," and "Oh, look, they've gone over the edges." Our two captains are a comedian who's gone from a light lunch to supersizing, it's Sue Perkins, and a comedian who's gone from an ape that got lucky to a lab rat, Chris Addison. Sue's guest is a comedian who on May the 17th last year released a DVD of his stand-up show, Someone Likes Yogurt, although it was removed from the shelves by May the 30th, and sadly it was past its sell-by date. It's Richard Herring. Chris's guest is a literary academic who is that rarest of Australians, a literary academic. It's Professor Germaine Greer. Right, the first round is 3 steps to heaven. Teams are shown 3 images, each a clue to a film, book, play, or musical. 3 generous points are awarded if they can guess the answer from the devilish first picture, plunging to a single point for the stunningly simple third clue. So Sue and Richard, you're going to start. Well, another satisfied Pizza Hut customer there.
So she's trying to drink from a well. She's either got a very long neck or a very long tongue. Either way, I'd quite like to meet her.
I think we probably need another photo there, I'm going to guess. Here is a number of waiters, and I can tell you it's in a Baghdad restaurant. But the clue here is a waiter. Okay. So let's have a look at the 2 pictures together.
Waiting for God.
Is it Will's Kitchen? Is it Waiting for Godot?
It is, absolutely right.
How is it waiting for God?
I don't know why though.
The answer is Samuel Beckett's landmark play, Waiting for Godot. Now, I think we have to have a little look at the clues. One character in the play is called Pozzo, which, as linguists will tell you, is Italian for well.
Oh, I can't believe it.
The employees of the Baghdad restaurant earn their living by waiting. Let's have a look at the third photo. Here is Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin giving what for to a couple of young dissidents, I think. Vladimir is one of the play's 2 time-killing main characters. So 2 points there to Sue and Richard. The play is all about 2 men hanging around waiting for Godot to arrive. They wait for one day, then another, but still nothing. And then sure enough, 3 Godots turn up all at once. So over to Chris and Germaine. Here is the first of your pictures.
Oh.
Any ideas?
Is it the Amy Winehouse story?
Do you want to see another photograph? There's Yuri Geller, a man who could solve world hunger and cure cancer, but will still always be known as a spoonbender. And the clue here, I can tell you, is his supposed telepathic powers, okay? It's a book that has got the telepathic powers are very important.
I don't think I've ever read a book in which...
Let's put the 2 together, let's put the first 2 together.
All right.
What's the bit that when you... Well, look at that bit that the
nose.
Nose?
The nose.
Nostril.
The nose is one. The nose.
Nose is very good.
Telepathic.
So, the nose is very good and the telepathic thing is very good. That's it. Have a look at this final visual clue. This is a purveyor of the fish dish, somewhat oddly known as Bombay duck. Okay. The clue, however, is Bombay.
Midnight's Children.
It absolutely is.
Oh.
Yeah. I was trying to remember if there was a novel called The Corksucker.
The answer is Midnight's Children, the Booker Prize-winning 1981 novel by Salman Rushdie, recently voted the Booker of all Bookers, and the story's narrator, Salim Sinai, is known by the nickname The Nose. He tells of the events after India's independence by his quest to reunite the children of the title, all of whom are imbued with telepathic powers, and Bombay, now known as Mumbai, is where the narrator is born. So you get 1 point. Well done. Not a big friend of yours, Germaine.
I've been forbidden by him, the champion of free speech, ever to speak about him again.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
Did you like the book?
No. I've never said that before. That just popped out of my mouth. It's very, I dislike the book intensely because it is the only post-colonial novel. And all students who want to do post-colonial literature end up having to do Midnight Children. And I can't understand the category. I say, I'm Australian. Is our literature colonial or post-colonial? Where does the post bit comes from, especially when you're writing in the language of the coloniser?
I tried to read it, I just thought it was dull.
Yes, I go with dull, and I have read it. But I don't know, if you talk about he'll put a mandrake root under your pillow and you'll grow 7 years or something.
No, he'll just do Herzlmann and remind me that, the fatwa cost him a marriage or 2 or 3, I forget how many have gone under the chopper since then. And that
Wish I had a fatwa on me. Yeah, convenient where he was explaining why I failed to keep a girlfriend.
I love you. It's not your fault. It's the bounty on my head.
Well, apparently the book took 5 years to write.
And 4 to read.
Yeah. The book's focal point is midnight, August the 15th, 1947, which saw the partition of India and the formation of Pakistan, an historic moment in the 20th century, as it created yet another team to thrash England at cricket. So I can tell you at the end of that round, Chris and Germaine have got 1 point, but in the lead are Sue and Richard with 2. The second round is called Yes and I'm Mickey Mouse. The teams meet members of the public who share their names with characters from literature, film or song before trying to identify them via questions to which the answer can only be yes or no. And teams have got 90 seconds to cross-examine each mystery guest, after which they must take a guess at his or her identity. So Sue and Richard, let's meet your fictional namesake. For the audience only, here is the fictional character with whom she shares her name. Oh, this was an interesting moment to see whether there's any reaction.
Some nodding.
Bit of nodding.
It's all.
Sue and Richard, your minute and a half begins now.
Is it a contemporary book?
No.
Was it written in the 19th century?
Yes.
Okay. So is it...
Can I have your phone number?
Say no.
Yes.
No, yes!
Is it American?
No.
Is it Scandinavian?
No.
Is it
British?
Yes.
Richard got 1, yes.
Is it a woman?
Yes.
It is a woman.
Are you a hero book?
Yes.
Okay.
But try for a genre.
A romantic?
Yeah.
Are you written by George Eliot?
No.
Jane Austen?
No.
Oh, God.
Mary Shelley?
No.
Yes, it's Frankenstein, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you have a romantic liaison?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Are you Kathy from Wuthering Heights? Unsure! Oh, it took us a while. We've got a date.
Yes, our mystery guest actually shares her name with Catherine Earnshaw, Emily Bronte's windswept leading lady from Wuthering Heights. So 2 points to Sue and Richard. Did you guys think it through? The name was Earnshaw already, so did they think...
Yeah, that was named after the character.
You were?
Yeah.
So you made to read the book early on?
I read it when I was 15.
And did you like it?
I loved it when I was 15 and I reread it recently and I just thought, get a grip. I don't know.
Well, you were a teenager and you locked yourself out. Mum, it's me, it's Gary.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to Catherine Earnshaw. Bronte, of course, wrote Wuthering Heights under the name Ellis Bell, and it's common in English literature for female writers to use male pseudonyms. For instance, I tend to use Ian McEwan. Emily Bronte's 2 elder sisters died in childhood, then her brother Bramwell, Anne and Emily herself all died within a year of each other, yet strangely, no one ever questioned Charlotte about all those life insurance policies. Chris and Germaine, let's meet your fictional namesake. Right, welcome to our second mystery guest, and for the audience only, here is the character from film with whom she shares her name. Oh, is that dear. Yes, it's Bambi. Okay, Okay, Chris and Germaine, your 90 seconds starts now.
So is it an American film?
Yes.
All right. Is it a recent American film?
No.
Are you Mary Poppins?
No.
No. Can Richard have your phone number?
I can touch this one.
Is your name the title of the film?
No.
You're the main character.
Yes.
Is it a black and white film?
At beginning.
Are you a scarecrow? Are you a lion? Are you made of tin? Are you a small dog? Are you a witch?
We need the whole name.
Dorothy Earnshaw.
Dorothy.
It's to do
Dorothy-
with the hurricane.
Dorothy Wind. Dorothy Twister. Dorothy
Storm.
Tornado.
Cyclone.
Dorothy Michael Fish.
Dorothy Blower. Dorothy Blower. This has gone way beyond the yes no round. To hell.
Oh!
Put their hand over to the other side.
Well, I'm guessing it's Dorothy Gale.
It is Dorothy Gale. Yes, this lady shares her name with Dorothy Gale, the heroine from my favourite film, The Wizard of Oz. We would have got the Scarecrow, but Boris Johnson pulled out at the last minute. Were you born Dorothy Gale?
No.
What was no, you don't have to say yes or no to me.
No. No. I was married into
Did you see the film when it first came out?
Yes.
What did you think of it? Did you?
It was brilliant.
Yeah, are you still fond of it?
Yes, very much.
I love it. Absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. And where have you come? You've come quite a long way to be with us today.
From Barnsley.
Yeah. And,
South Yorkshire.
and do people still remember the film? Do they still say? Oh,
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
quite a lot. Were really interested when they knew I was coming.
That's great. Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Dorothy Gale. Well, I have to go back to Kansas. There we are. I'm going to award Chris and Germaine 1 point because you got the Dorothy part, but I'm going to give a spare point to Richard for getting the Gale. Dorothy lives with her uncle and aunt, and in the modern remake, they are forced to leave their Kansas home and settle in a farmhouse on the outskirts of the Emerald City. But sadly, they then buy a subprime mortgage and inadvertently bring down the Land of Oz economy. I can tell you that at the end of that round, Chris and Germaine have got 2 points, but in the lead are Sue and Richard with 5. Before we disappear in a cyclone of our own making, here's a little teaser for you at home. Which child star did MGM Studios originally want to cast as Dorothy Gale in The Wizard of Oz? We'll see you after the break. Before the break, I asked you which child star did MGM Studios originally want to cast as Dorothy Gale in The Wizard of Oz? Anybody know?
Well, it's either Mickey Rooney or Shirley Temple, I would guess.
Shirley Temple, absolutely right. Oh, very good, very good. Next up, it's Love It or Loathe It. Our guests are invited to choose a subject or genre from the arts which either elevates them to untold heights or enshrouds them in a dark cloud of despair. However, they must attempt to both love and loathe it, the opposing team then deciding which opinion is true. So, Richard, you are in the dock first of all.
Okay.
You need to choose a work that you're going to love and loathe. What have you chosen?
I've chosen the Angel of the North.
Angel of the North. Okay, let's have a quick look. And are you going to start by loving or loathing?
I love it. It's a truly populist piece of art. I love when you're driving up the motorway, you get to Newcastle, it's kind of an exciting landmark to see there kind of looming over the motorway, like it's kind of interactivity. The people put the big Newcastle United football shirt on it. It's hilarious, but it's kind of nice that people could interact with it. The people of Newcastle have taken it to heart and love it there, even though there was some resistance to it to begin with. When you get close to it, it's a very imposing, incredible thing to get close to. It's just, there's something just really beautiful and exciting about it. It made £1 million on Antiques Roadshow, just a tiny copy of it. Imagine how much that big one must be worth. Some incredible noble in Newcastle's cut it down and turn it into scrap metal.
That sounds like love to me. Any questions to question his love for it?
Who made it?
I don't know his name.
Anthony Gormley,
Well, I was
is
going
his
to say
name.
Anthony. It's the bloke who did the same one on the
Yeah, but
standing
who
thing.
actually built it?
It's a load of Newcastle blokes got together.
The ship workers from the extinct shipbuilding industry.
This is like intellectual category.
But I think, Germaine, it's possible to love something without
knowing anything about it.
No, well,
Aesthetically.
Anyways, that's the basis of a good relationship.
So now I would ask you please to loathe the Angel of the
I
North.
hate the Angel of the North. Obviously, it's disgusting. It's a patronising attempt to kind of engage people in art. It's ugly. It's rusty. If you get up close, it's just covered in graffiti. It isn't like an angel. An angel has proper wings. That's like an aeroplane. And it made £1 million on the Antiques Roadshow just for a little copy of it. Well, ridiculous.
Any more questions?
All his work that he has made for specific sites has a tremendous relationship with the place. And that's what's fantastic to me about this. If the shipbuilders hadn't liked it and hadn't wanted to work on it, it would never have been built.
But this is not about whether you love it.
I love it.
I just don't think there's any substance in his carping of this beautiful thing.
So, where are you going to? Are you going to say that he loves it or that he loathes it?
I think he loves it.
All right, loves it.
Yeah. Richard, do you love or loathe the Angel of the North?
Oh, why did he say How can anyone hate the Angel of the North?
Well, the Angel is a symbol of the Northeast, standing outdoors, exposed to freezing winds of over 100 miles per hour and still never wearing a coat. So you get 2 points there, Chris and Germaine. Well done. Oh, Professor Germaine Greer. Germaine, what have you chosen?
The work of Bob Dylan.
And which are you going to start with?
Loathe.
Okay, so let us go ahead and loathe Bob Dylan.
That guy was so desperate to be famous, and he was loved by Joan Baez, whom he used to build his own career. When she first went on stage with him, her audiences booed him to get him off. But he was completely single-minded. And the thing he was single-minded about was not the civil rights movement, for whom his songs became anthems, even though when people actually look at the words of those songs, they'll see that they have nothing whatever to do with civil rights. He got very irritated with people commandeering him and manipulating him, but at the same time, he didn't seem to realize how much he was doing the manipulating. He signed on with the greediest agent in New York, who was Albert Grossman, who took 25% off the top of everything that he owned, but who drove the hardest bargain, and he stayed with him for many years.
Can I just say, Richard, this is the kind of detail that we were looking for. Anybody have any questions?
Well, yes, but I feel odd questioning Germaine Greer. It's factually correct that he suppressed the career of Joan Baez. He belittled her, that is true?
I didn't say that he belittled her. He used her, and then when she'd done what she could for him, he left her. She's not the only person of whom this was the case. He was particularly furtive about his relationships. He wouldn't acknowledge them publicly, didn't even acknowledge his wife publicly after he married her. It was supposed to be kept some sort of a dumb secret.
I'm just checking, because if it turns out you love Bob Dylan, I can say, but you know he oppressed his women folk.
Okay, well, let's move on to that. Please do now love Bob Dylan.
Anybody of my generation has to love Bob Dylan, because the sound of Bob Dylan is the sound of the happiest years of our lives, when we really thought that we could change the world. And the great thing about him was that extraordinary sandpaper voice, that nasal delivery, that way of punching out a song that completely lifted it out of the ruck of the usual dopey sentimentality that afflicted pop songs of the time. Well, at last was something you could say, this is our voice, this is what we sound like. And for me, the keynote was his antenna for hypocrisy, and he could seek it out anywhere, in any kind of movement, and he would put it into words. You know, he turned on a whole generation to poetry, to a certain kind of expression of feeling that was at once bitter and sardonic and sometimes absolutely luminous. He could write more beautifully about love than was imaginable. partly because he avoided the cliches, and he could also write about disappointment and bitterness, and do I have to go on?
No, you're good. That was fabulous. I don't know what to think anymore.
I think you love him. What do you think?
I really hate him, so I think let's go for love. I think he might have been a clever
What you
performance.
know, if you love him, you love a woman hater. Craven, and I got that off Professor Germaine Greer, who said he hated women.
Germaine, we are all going for love with you. Reveal to us now. Oh, well done. Bob Dylan apparently took his name from the poet Dylan Thomas, following the lead of a lesser-known folk singer Frank Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I love that joke. Anyway, at the end of that round, Sue and Richard have got 5 points, but sneaking into the lead are Chris and Germaine with 6. So, with Chris and Germaine leading, we finish with losing the plot. In the final round, team captains must communicate the plot of a work of literature, film or song to their guests with no mention of names or places nor any allusions to the title. So Chris and Germaine are in the lead, so they get to start. Here is Germaine, can I get you to pass this envelope, please? Okay, Chris, your 90 seconds.
Oh, no, I have to look.
Starts now.
Oh, you wrote it. Yeah, first one book, you wrote it, very famous.
The Female Eunuch?
Yes! well, I think this is your favourite film. It's a film by a famous Italian director, a whole number, an integer and a fraction. That's the one. More integers and fractions here, but this time it's a sex diary. It's slightly over 2 months.
The 120 Days of Sodom.
Take that.
That's a lot of Sodom.
No, we're talking about sort of 7-day periods. Again, an integer and a fraction.
4.5 weeks. I don't know. 6.5 weeks.
Yeah,
8.5 weeks.
yeah,
9.5.
That's it. Yes. This is an Aboriginal complaint. He's waved the thing all over the place. He's practiced and he was black in the face. He's a big disgrace to the Aboriginal race, but...
Yeah, my boomerang won't come.
That's right! A small child is taken on by a wolf pack and then has to go out into a large wooded area where he meets a tiger, a bear who has a thing about prickly pears, a big...
The Jungle Book.
That's the one, yeah. This is about...
Oh, well done! Fantastic. I loved it when you said 120 weeks of Sodom and you said, I'll take that. I thought, well, you're going to sit comfortably for the weekend. Now, I make it that you actually got 4 correct, because 8.5 you said Italy, which is a place name, which you're not allowed to say. So 4 points to Chris and Germaine. Sue, that means you need 6 correct ones in order to be the victors, and your 90 seconds starts now.
Funniest film ever made about a rock band.
This is Spinal Tap.
A famous neurotic director from
Woody
across
Allen.
the pond. There's an orgasmatron.
Sleeper.
And this is a musical about broads and blokes.
Guys and Dolls.
The worst rom-com of all time. She's a prostitute. No, she's not really. Of course, she's a bit more glamorous than that.
Pretty Woman.
Escort. Yes. Fantastic. I think Booker Prize winning book, and also a film about future dystopia, about women.
The Handmaid's Tale.
Indeed it is. This is
You
an
need one
execrable
more.
piece of theatre where lots of women talk about their own genitalia.
Oh, the vagina monologues.
This is parallel universes where you get into a train and 2 things can happen.
Sliding doors.
Yes. I have got a wimple and I'm just constantly
Sound
moving
music.
around. I'm constantly it's a comedy.
The nuns on the right.
And there's a chalice. It's an incredibly sacred chalice.
The Monty Python, the Holy Grail.
Yes. Look, there's a well and
Moby Dick.
a well, not a whale. A well and
Waiting for Godot.
I'm going to look into a mirror and there's a
Sleeping
rabbit
Beauty.
and there's
Alice in Wonderland.
And then I'm going to look into the mirror again. I'm the same girl and
Alice
walk
through the
on through
Listen.
it.
Alice
Yes.
through the Listen.
The same object that's reflective. Somebody's got a little.
Wow, fantastic.
Never got back to the Handmaid's Tale. I just read that.
Well, you got an amazing 10 correct there. So at the end of all that, our condolences to noble failures, Chris and Germaine, who finish on 10 points. Meaning this week's heroic victors are Sue and Richard with 15. This has been What the Dickens. I've been Sandi Toksvig, and I'm off now to my local library. Well, that's what it used to be. It's now a gym with a Starbucks. I'll see you there. Good night.
Next on Sky Arts 1 and Sky Arts HD, the Man in Black gets festive with a Christmas special circa 76. While on Sky Arts 2, cutting up on Porgy and Bess in just a moment.
But